Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Create Your Own Reality podcast, where we share quotes, ideas, and stories from a variety of minds in order to encourage, empower, and inspire you all to create a life you love. If this is your first time listening to the show, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you're able to take something from this episode to turn your day from good to great. Let's get into it. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the show. Today, I'm here with Annie. So, Annie, I'm going to go ahead, let you introduce yourself a little bit more.
Great. Yeah, excited to be here. I'm Annie. I created Annie B Design, which is a branding and website company. I work with a wide variety of clients, basically anyone who wants to be creative with their business, have fun with color, shapes, kind of want to break free from like traditional style that other people might be doing, really want to help you stand out in your field and create really fun branding and website for you, as well as any additional graphics you may need in your business. So yeah, that's kind of really the type of clients I really thrive working with, that let me just be really creative and have a lot of fun and kind of really do the background work on what's going to make you stand out in your industry and stand out against other people who might be in the same field as you, so you can really attract the right people that want to work with you.
Awesome. I love that. That's amazing. So I saw your little, about me post. I gotta do one of those myself. I
Yeah.
keep seeing them pop up on my feed, but so
Yeah, really great to introduce yourself,
yeah,
right?
no, for sure. I know that you mentioned that, you're a multi-passionate creator as well. I feel like, most of us most of us are in one way or another.
hmm
So what kind of made you land on, like web design and branding for your business?
Yeah. My background is I went to school for graphic design, dabbled in a lot of different things, photography, all things creative, even ceramics throughout college, which was really fun. And then after that, I worked at a marketing agency doing graphic design and creative strategy, which is basically coming up with the ideas for creative campaigns to run in marketing on like social media and stuff. Throughout that time, I worked with like hundreds and hundreds of clients doing that at my previous job. And I really noticed one thing that a lot of clients lacked was their branding, solid branding, and their websites weren't either giving them the conversions that they needed. They didn't look great. They were just kind of there. And so I really started to kind of view as like branding and web design and websites as a key foundation to really any business. A lot of people can overlook it, especially if you're a smaller business or even a one-person business who, you're a photographer, you're trying to get referrals on Instagram or something and trying to make connections. It's a lot of work, and a website and like good branding can really do a lot of leg lifting for you to really help you attract the right people. So it's really what got me landing in more of this realm, is I feel like it's just such an important foundation for any business, and I really like doing this foundational work that's really going to make such a big impact for any business.
Yeah. No, that's such a good point. I mean, I know for myself, like my website was the thing that was lacking for a really long time. I recently just kind of switched my website platform. I've been working with like Framer a lot lately. So that's been pretty cool
Mm-hmm.
to just learn and play with a lot. So I've been having a lot of fun with that. I know I still have a lot I
Yeah,
can learn and improve on, but it's been a pretty cool experience. Do you have like
yeah,
one,
yeah. Web design's really fun.
yeah, do you
Oh,
have
sorry.
like one platform that you use like more regularly or
I mainly is supposed to be designing in Showit.
okay.
Um, and so yeah, that's the main platform I've been using. Really great for people in like the creative field. You can have a lot of fun with it. There's a lot more flexibility to kind of do things. You aren't quite tied down to like different types of structures and things. And you don't need to do any coding. It's very drag and drop. So really easy to kind of figure out how to navigate too. So, even if someone didn't need any help after, I will offer ongoing services if people want my support after they work with me initially. But very easy to manage yourself, update images, update copy. So that's why I liked working with Show It, because it can really be, handed over to the person and they can really run with it and be able to update it themselves, as well as just the creative freedom you have with the platform is just really great.
Gotcha. No, that's pretty cool. I haven't personally used Show It myself, but yes, I do know of it. I know a lot of people that use it. So I mean, I don't do too much web design just in most
Yeah.
cases, but I feel like it'd be a good thing to kind of just take a look at for sure.
Yeah, it's really intuitive. Like, there's courses out there. I'm always looking up stuff on YouTube too. If I'm like, oh, I want to do this specific thing, there's a lot of great resources out there to kind of learn it. Yeah, it's really, really great platform.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to take a look at it just to at least familiarize myself a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, it's great. They have free templates too, so it's like you could just dive in a template and just see how it's built and kind of
Nice.
play with it. So, yeah.
Gotcha. So do you do like all of the copy and stuff as well for the websites, or do you have like a copywriter that you work with?
Yeah, I think depending on the person's needs, it could be a little bit of both. I'll have copywriters we can refer any potential clients to. I do think that's the best route to go for, just because messaging is such an important part to nail
Yes.
down for your website and your brand and everything as a whole. But I am really good at helping my clients get what they need for their copy. I have frameworks. We could hook you up with, I created a custom like chat GPT to help identify your brand
Nice.
voice and help outline your website for you. And as well, I would provide feedback. So it's kind of a tag team effort from like a copy standpoint, just mainly because a lot of people know, their service is the best, and then I'll provide insight on, hey, if we say it this way or lay it out this way, this is going to be a better experience for your audience. And then we can use tools like my custom chat GPT tool to kind of really nail down like the tone of voice that's going to resonate with the target audience. So that's a big piece of figuring out. I'm definitely not a copywriter, but I have done a lot of copywriting
Hmm.
and kind of know, with my experience working in marketing, I know kind of like what sells and what can resonate too. So I do have that experience and insight. So it's definitely a little bit of a tag team effort, but also happy to refer people to copywriters too. And I think that could be a great route too.
For sure. No, I mean, I feel like tag team is always the name of the game in one way or another. Like,
Yeah.
it's always important to have, those people, whether it's just the client that, of course, like you said, knows their brand a lot more, what they're trying to convey. And then, of course, people like us who are in the branding design world that understand how to translate that a little bit better
Yeah.
for them.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
So I know you mentioned that, you're working in like the marketing world. Was it like at an agency, or kind of what was the experience that you had with that?
Yeah, I worked at an ad agency, so we worked with a huge variety of clients. Any random product you could think of, I probably worked with.
Gotcha.
Um, but yeah, a huge variety of clients. So I got really good at designing for really any type of industry and any type of client. I will say my bread and butter recently has been more clients with products, e-com side of things. It's definitely something I'm going to add on to my services. It more would be building in Shopify, which is a whole other beast that I have not learned yet. So, very interested in learning that side of things. There are ways you can build very simple shops and Show It. It's definitely not the most like, if you have a huge variety
Mhm.
of products, it's not the most e-com friendly platform, I'd say.
Okay.
Shopify is definitely the best way to go in that regards, but you can also link up a Shopify with Show It. So if you like the flexibility and freedom of what Show It can do, and then we can link it to product pages in Shopify, that kind of thing. So you can kind of definitely do a mix of both. But I do really like working with ecom clients, and feel like I have a really good handle of what can help them sell and optimizing websites and stuff like that. From a website standpoint, I feel really drawn to. So that's definitely the kind of client I worked with the most in my ad agency, and really enjoyed that. But yeah, worked with a ton of different type of clients.
Nice. No, I mean, that's really important. I know I tried to dabble in Shopify a while back myself, and
Yeah.
I that was at the very beginning of anything, so I really had no idea what I was doing. But
Right.
I think,
Yeah.
just having that, or having somebody that knows, just how to optimize and how to properly like lay things out is just so important, especially with something like that, to, of course,
Yeah.
get people right where you want them to be. So
Yeah,
that's
for
awesome.
sure. And I think my plan eventually is to work with like creative type businesses in the e-com space. So a lot of people you'd probably see on like Etsy, that don't really want an Etsy
Hmm.
shop anymore. They really want to have, they feel like their own business.
Yeah.
I feel like that's kind of like a dream vision I have, but definitely want to work on, yeah, Shopify skills first.
Yeah. That's very cool. I mean, I think Shopify, like, it can be tricky, but at the same time, I feel like, kind of the same thing. I know a lot of these website builders have like the templates and things that you can kind of build off of to
Yeah.
start. So it's just learning a bit more of, the back end and all that kind of stuff
Yeah.
that can take a little bit more time. But
Yeah, it's definitely switching to a different side of your brain, working with like coding and that kind of stuff,
yes.
more back end, but definitely can learn it. I have that side of my brain I can definitely utilize because I like to do a lot of strategy and a lot of like analytical stuff when it comes to making sure the website performance is
Yeah,
there and everything. So I definitely enjoy using that side, and I'm sure that could come in handy if I ever
definitely.
dabbled in any kind of coding.
Yeah, no, definitely. That would definitely be super helpful.
Yeah.
Um, so kind of when you were, I guess, transitioning from like the agency to kind of your own business, like what was, I guess, like the main like mindset or thought process that you had kind of in making that shift for yourself?
Yeah, I think a lot of it came down to is I really wanted to work with the clients I wanted to work with. A lot of the times at agencies, you're just kind of getting whatever comes your way, and sometimes you get really great clients, which I did, and then sometimes it can be stressful with certain clients. And so I realized that I did want to have more of a say with the type of clients I worked with, and then also, the other thing that I was noticing is I just wanted more creativity with my job and my day to day. So that was kind of the other piece. A lot of the things in the marketing and ad agency realm is a lot of how fast and cheap can we do the creative,
Yeah.
which there's if it that's how the marketing world is moving, that's great, and there's definitely a lot of cool tools and cool resources that can get companies there. But I definitely liked to be able to take my time with the creative and really, put strategy behind it and think through I'm a really big creative problem solver. I like to kind of really think through the problem and think what's going to be the best solution, try a few options. But usually in the marketing agency, it's kind of like you just kind of got to hurry and run with it
Hmm.
and just got to get the work out there. So, um, that was kind of another big piece that I was realizing I was missing. So once I kind of came to that realization, I knew I kind of wanted to start my own thing and feel like I could also do a really good job with that. It definitely is very scary,
Yes.
especially as at this ad agency for 6 years. So
Gotcha.
it was a big, decent chunk of my life. So not something I definitely have taken lightly, making a transition. So um, yeah, it was those are kind of the main things I was noticing that with the mindset of what I wanted to work on in my business. And yeah, so really excited that I've done that and feel really aligned with the direction I'm going with my business, and just being more creative in my day to day is just really fulfilling.
Awesome. No, I love that. I mean, I think that's the scariest part is just making that initial
Yeah,
jump and just getting it started. Like,
it's so scary.
yeah, like some people just, have the idea forever and never really act on it. So, just the fact that you even trusted yourself enough to really take that leap really says a lot. So that's
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
So how long have you been running your business now? I know you said like you've been with the ad agency for 6 years. How long have you been
Yeah.
doing your own thing?
I would say like I feel like things more took off around October of last
Okay.
year. More like officially, I would say is more of like when I was diving full in,
Yeah.
more consistently posting on Instagram. I feel like was the somehow the biggest thing that made it feel more official
Yeah.
for some reason. I don't know why that is, but I had a website. I was doing other things. I got an LLC, all those things in the back end, and I'm like, okay, posting on Instagram makes it feel really official. So I feel like,
Yeah.
yeah, October is when I started doing that. So that's when I kind of nailed down to where I officially started things. But had been working a lot of things basically since March, I would say, last year. So yeah.
That's awesome. So I know you mentioned that, just kind of working in the agency that you've had probably over like 100, different clients that you worked with in that space. How many, or I guess in that transition, like, did you, I guess, like have clients that you worked with previously in the agency that you transitioned with into your business, or did you kind of have to find like new clients entirely?
Yeah, I had to find new clients entirely, mainly because what I was doing in my business was very different than what I was doing at the ad agency.
Yeah.
At the ad agency, I mainly did, I think I mentioned this earlier, I did creative strategy, which I'm still going to be offering as an ongoing service. It's definitely more of like I'm going to have a breakdown of like some services that are more of a one-off, and then like the web design branding, and then I have the creative strategy service, which is what I was doing at the ad agency as an ongoing service. So people who are probably more established in their business are going to be looking at this offer more because probably more likely are marketing or running ads or that kind of stuff, or running ads on Pinterest, social media, whatever, and need also design support, so actually executing the ads and everything, or the organic graphics too, as well as someone who can come up with the ideas and the campaigns and the strategy behind, hey, this is what's going to perform here, and looking also at the performance too, as well. So I'm a big believer that creative can do a lot more than people think.
Yes.
From a performance standpoint, I think a lot of people think, oh, creative or branding or nice ads are just a nice to have, but especially if you are in a somewhat visual industry, like you need to prioritize creative way more than people think. It can really lead to like good branding. I don't know the actual stat out there, but there's a stat out there that says if you have like nail down branding, it can, X amount of increased revenue, Sometimes it's hard to monetize some things with creative, but creative performance when you're running like ads is a really easy way to kind of see this ad is performing better. So I really like that side of analyzing creative performance. So I'm definitely going to offer that service as well. So I'm really excited to kind of bring the knowledge I got from my ad agency into my business, as well as doing that foundational stuff that I was really excited to kind of get more into.
Gotcha. Well, that's awesome. I mean, to at least recognize, something that you did realize that you were really interested in, like in the opportunity, even though the opportunity itself, might not have been exactly everything that you were looking for, to still be able to take something from that is, I think, always so important.
For sure. Yeah, it's always important to any skills you get. Especially, I still like doing that kind of work. But definitely feel like I want to do it in my own way, I guess, more so, and like with certain type of clients and stuff like that. But yeah, I feel really, because I just went to school for graphic design. I didn't learn marketing. So throughout the 6 years, I learned about marketing. I learned about the top of funnel, bottom of funnel. I learned all the different marketing terms, all this stuff. So I definitely picked it up along the way. So I feel really grateful that, such a valuable skill to learn, and also helps me in my own business too. So very, very helpful to kind of have marketing insight. So yeah.
Awesome. Now, I know you kind of mentioned, like you didn't really feel like, or your business felt more official, kind of once you started posting on Instagram and that side of things. So I guess in terms of, finding those clients, like, do you feel like a lot of them have come from Instagram, or what is the best way that you've kind of been finding your clients?
Yeah, right now I'm obviously still very early stages of things, but a lot of it has been referrals or just kind of people I knew. My Instagram, I'm probably just barely under 200 followers, so not anything too crazy, but it's so hard not to look at and rely on like, oh, I need a huge following, or I need to get more likes, I need to get more views. It's so hard not to look at that and like compare yourself, but try not to like be like, oh, I need to get more followers, but it is something. Obviously, if I get more reach, I'm gonna get more leads and more
Yeah.
engagement that way, and get more clients in the long run. So definitely building that up. But I've just been reaching out to a lot of personal connections. Like I reached out to my tattoo artist. I was following her on Instagram. She's like, hey, I need a website
Yeah.
and stuff. So yeah, so even just stuff like that has been my go-to right now. Just really working with clients that I'm excited about, can put in my portfolio is really important. So as well as other kind of personal projects, just like building different websites I can here and there. Another piece I want to build up in my business are templates, and sell, build a template shop and sell templates that way too. So
Nice.
kind of working on that. So kind of tag teaming, working with like side projects as well as building templates that can eventually sell is kind of something I'm working on too.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely with you on that one. I feel like, just kind of anything in the realm of, as you kind of go along, of course, you're going to learn a lot. You're going to be able to help other people share those insights. So I think kind of anything that, is possible along the way to help build like passive income in the future is just an
Hmm.
extra bonus, right? Like it's something
Yeah.
that can definitely help out. So I think that's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
The other big thing I'm focusing on is Pinterest. I don't know if you've dabbled much into that, but
I'm looking to.
um,
I'm trying to
yeah,
learn a lot more. It's
it's a very interesting platform. That it's what I like about it is how long pins can
yeah,
last. Although Instagram did just change, they came out that
right.
you can now be found on Google,
I did see
which is
that. Yeah.
a really cool update, which is exciting
Yes.
because I felt like, oh, if something didn't gain traction in like a couple hours, it's just gonna flop,
Right.
And I never liked that feeling. And obviously, like I keep saying, but don't focus on the metrics. But it's hard not to,
For sure.
especially when you put. I'm a designer and a perfectionist, so I
Yeah.
like to put effort into my
Of
posts, and
course.
I
Of
take
course.
probably too much time on them. So when my time goes into that and it doesn't do well, it's a little hurtful, but
Hmm.
it's fine. But Pinterest is really cool because it can last up to 18 months. I think is like the lifetime of a pin,
Wow.
and also Pinterest is a very searchable platform. So
Yeah.
people are searching for websites for photographers, and I have my pins optimized. They should show up when people are looking for stuff like that. So
Gotcha.
really excited to kind of dive into that platform more, and really utilize that because I think a little effort can go a long way in Pinterest. So that's the other kind of area where I'm hoping to kind of get more clients from.
Yeah, I've definitely been seeing a lot more about Pinterest pop up lately, which is funny because obviously it's been around for a long time, but
Yeah.
it's like one of those things, of course, like as all these social medias come out, and of course algorithms are changing and things like that. I think it's just one of those things that people are kind of just starting to realize that, it
Hmm.
has a longer shelf life, right? So
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
it's pretty cool.
Yeah. And it'll be good for you too, because one of the nice thing about Pinterest, which I don't have a lot of, is just like content. So great for people with podcasts as well as like people who have like a big blog or
Yeah,
something. So you have a lot of content that you can use, and just make pins for different podcasts that you
definitely.
have. Um, so yeah, that'd be really cool.
Yeah, I definitely have to look into that for sure. It's it's been on my list for a little
Yeah.
bit. I just have not had the time to dive into that just yet.
Yeah, that's the joy of running a business, right? Where do you put your
Absolutely.
focus?
Yeah, but it's a lot of fun, so it can't be too
Hmm.
mad.
It is, yeah.
But on that note, what is like if you had to pick a couple things, or like what are some of the favorite things of kind of just everything that you do? I know you kind of mentioned a lot just
Yeah.
even in even in this interview here. So like what are a few of your favorite things, either just in
Mm.
your business or that you kind of really enjoy doing?
Yeah. I'm really enjoying building the websites and just like making those come to life. I like to try different things and really play with it and kind of do things differently than like normal websites. Obviously, I'm still very focused on it's a balance with websites that you want to make sure it's still going to be a good user experience and lead to conversions while also having fun with it is
Yeah.
kind of like the balance I'm trying to strike. So that's really fun and kind of a fun challenge to be like, hey, how can I have fun with this, but also make sure it's a good experience and ultimately lead to my client getting more clients, stuff like that. So I'm really enjoying building the websites, and playing with Showit has been really fun. I also really enjoy, this is kind of nerdy, but I really enjoy the research phase. I'm really passionate about making sure what I design is going to resonate with, the client's target audience, their demographic. A lot of this kind of comes from my ad agency role. I did a lot of research. I would spend time on Reddit threads of in a certain industry, seeing what people are talking about in that industry. What are their pain points? What are they desiring? Stuff like that. So I'm really liking the research phase of the process as well, because I feel like that's probably the most important.
Absolutely.
And leads to the result, really. So it's very important. So I really do enjoy that process, and take a lot of time there. So
It's good. Yeah, I mean, I feel like not too many people would definitely say that that's, on their list of favorites, but I mean, you're absolutely right. Like,
yeah,
it's so important, like the research phase, in order to make sure everything is aligned with what they're looking for, and, just kind of
yeah.
trying to figure out exactly where they should be in their industry. I think that is definitely one of the most important parts.
Yeah. It's like I could design something that looks good all day long, but if it's not going to perform for the client, then there's really no point to doing
Yeah.
it. So the research is really, really important. So I definitely don't take that part lightly, just because it's going to ultimately be what's going to lead to most success for the client. So
Definitely. Now, would you say that it's beneficial for somebody to maybe get a little bit of agency experience before going freelance, or do you think that somebody can kind of like jump right into the freelance world? Like, what do you think would be, like, I guess maybe a good
yeah.
starting point for somebody?
Yeah, I think for me, what was most beneficial for starting with the ad agency side was gaining the business knowledge that I did, just what it takes to run a business and work with different industries, and just that experience I think was really valuable for myself. I think things can maybe take longer if you're just kind of starting out without prior experience. So I think it probably depends on the person and their personality of, do they feel like they can, go learn and figure it out. I'm kind of the person where I'm very cautious with my decisions. I like to, I'm very easy in my comfort zone. So for me, it was, it was good to have that experience so I could have that knowledge to lean on. But some people like to kind of, build the airplane while they're in the air and kind of figure it out as they go. And obviously starting a business, even going from an ad agency, is a little bit like that. But I feel like a little bit less so, because I'm like, oh, I know how to do these things. I know how to do this, and I'm not going to need that. So probably depends on the person's personality. But I definitely think for me, the right route was getting some, real world experience at the ad agency was really helpful.
Awesome. Now, I guess kind of final question to wrap into that as well. For those that are just kind of looking to get started in design, or just starting out, what would be your biggest piece of advice? Like, do you think it's necessary for people to, maybe go to college, get a degree in graphic design, or, do you think it's something that somebody can also kind of, I don't want to say like self-teach, but, kind of
Yeah.
learn without actually going to college?
Yeah. I definitely think people can learn it without going to college. I think some people have a great eye for what looks good and what doesn't, and have good instincts. I would say the biggest piece of advice that a lot of people overlook is the typography. I learned so much about typography and what makes good typography versus bad typography in college that I'm so glad my college professor was like, hey, this is what's good, this is what's bad, because I probably wouldn't have noticed it. And then once I knew the rules and stuff, then you notice it and kind of can see bad type versus good type, as well as know kind of when you can break the rules, which is helpful. So I'd say definitely learn all the principles you can when it comes to graphic design, especially what makes good typography. So that way you can really have fun with it, because sometimes when you don't have the right structure, sometimes even if you are like having fun with it, it still kind of falls flat or just like isn't very good. So I'd say learning like the, main design principles, and really just looking at inspiration. Pinterest is great for that. for design inspiration too. So I'd say my biggest tip is learn good typography.
Awesome. I love that. That is definitely very important.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Annie. It was great having you
Yeah.
on the show today.
Yeah, it was very fun. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for listening. If you like this content, please be sure to share it with your friends or leave a review. Comment down below to share your takeaways with others or just to say hi. Stay tuned for any updates, and until next time, stay motivated, be inspired, and don't forget to encourage others.